It's Canada against Namibia in Pool C of Rugby World Cup '99. The Canadians, who have a very outside chance of looking for the best third place finish in all 5 pools, but they've lost 2 matches. They've lost the 2 games to France and Fiji, and the Namibians have lost to Fiji and France as well. That's confirmation of what has happened in this pool. Fiji with the opener 67-18 against Namibia. Canada going down 33-20 and losing to Fiji as well. That's how Pool C stands, with Fiji 2 out of 2, France 2 out of 2, and the big decider is on Saturday here in Toulouse. But Canada against Namibia tonight is for the fight for the best third place finish in all 5 pools. Canada with a very slender chance. And for the Canadians, a chance to put back something of the record. They've had a bit of a woeful Rugby World Cup '99. They've lost to France in Béziers. They've lost to Fiji in Bordeaux. Now they're in Toulouse, where the conditions are just about perfect. And here the first kick of the match for Gareth Rees, the talisman of Canadian rugby, his 4th World Cup. Will it be his last match in the Canadian jersey? He's got the ball now, and Canada are regrouping. He might well have looked outside him. He had a few players looking to run the ball. This is the Namibian fullback, Glovin van Wyk, who plays for the University of Namibia club. And that's a huge shunt downfield, so long that it gives Scott Stewart a chance to feed Gareth Rees inside. And the Canadian outside half has just missed with that touch finder. Back goes the shortest man in the Rugby World Cup, Rian Jantjies, who stands no more than about 5 foot. I'm not sure if he reaches that. Scott Hastings knows these players. Scott, Toulouse tonight, and it's not going to be the platform for Jantjies and his men, is it?
I don't think so. I think Canada's experience will come through here, but what a setting, this magnificent ground here. The pitch is absolutely perfect, the conditions are great. Let's hope for a great open game.
It's a scrummage to Namibia, and Jantjies with the chip upfield. Big mark going in from Scott Stewart, the Bedford man playing for the Bedford club in England, plays for British Columbia. This is Joe Pagano, his first World Cup match for Canada, his first outing. Kyle Nichols now for the Canadians. Morgan Williams waits, the scrum half. It's a penalty to Namibia, holding on to the ball after being tackled. You must release the ball. Kyle Nichols, the last man up.
Well, interesting play there from Canada, straight from the take and the tap. They start moving the ball outside their own 22. They've obviously gone for the open tactic here. They're going to try running tries, but they were holding the ball there on the ground, and here we see the incident here. Totally wrapped up and held. Nichols held in the tackle. Penalty against Canada.
This will be a first touch for Leandre van Dijk, who's playing his 13th test. In fact, the number of caps for these Namibian players are a little bit of anomalous, because they have been counting the number of times they've played in a Namibian shirt. Can be a bit misleading. This, though, is Leandre van Dijk for Namibia with the first successful kick of the match, and it's the Namibians from the southwest of the huge continent of Africa who go into a 3-point lead. The Canadians are really up for this match, I can tell you that. Scott Hastings went down to pitch side to watch them warm up. They're going through some fearful exercises. This is Dan Ball, tremendous pass to Kyle Nichols, who spills it. We are going to see a lot of Dan Ball tonight. He's the man wearing 7. Keep your eye on him. The Namibians will have to.
Well, he's an electric player here. Great take, but I think if you have a look at this, he could have shown the ball and gone for the dummy there.
Dan Ball wearing 7, plays for Cardiff in Wales. He's a flyer. He's a man without fear. This is Yankees, and this scrummage is just inside the Namibian 22. The Canadians have got the extra weight, and they're pushing the Namibians back. This is Stanley. It's done well. Away goes Morgan Williams with the throw, but it was a little wayward. Pagano wearing 11. He's playing on the right wing, but he's wearing the number 11 shirt. Morgan Williams, Gareth Rees. The big man, John Tate. It's going across field. If someone has to straighten it, it is now. Taken on by Lougheed, Dave Lougheed. It's spilled by Namibia. It'll be Canada's advantage. But you can see that Canada are trying to force the pace.
Absolutely, they're throwing the ball around. Good hands there, Lougheed going down the wing there. And look how quick Al Sharon was on that ball. Hint of a knock-on though from them. It's Canada with the pressure on in the Namibian 22.
It really is a wonderful setting here. It is the rugby capital of France. And I say that with due respect to Paris. This is the Canadians on the attack. Dave Lougheed wearing 13. We're some 700 kilometers from Paris. This is actually the one of the world capitals for the aeronautical industry as well. This is where they built the supersonic Concorde, the Airbus and the Ariane rocket.
Well, hopefully we'll see some fireworks tonight anyway. You know, the way the Canadians have started, we are looking forward to a great game. They've got pressure, and you can just see Mike James down there. He's a wonderful player for the Perpignan club in the second row. But here we see...
They're quick on the draw, these French directors too, Scott.
Well, we've got a stoppage here. We've got quite an injury here, actually. Can't quite see who it is. But the referee will be wanting to hurry play along here.
It's one of the key pins for Namibia. That's Johan Zyman, the outside half from the Wanderers club in Windhoek. So it's a big scrummage for Canada inside Namibia's 22. Williams, the scrum half, waits. The man from Cole Harbour plays for Nova Scotia, picked up by Al Sharon. Hutchinson takes it on, an extra couple of yards. Gareth Rees It's a lovely run by Lougheed. He's strong. It takes 2 or 3 Namibians to bring him down. Williams has a look left. It's slowed down now. Gareth Rees, Nichols, Pagano's in there. Scott Stewart, what a thumping tackle that was. A good tackle on the Canadian fullback, but it's still with Canada. Sharon, Pagano. Canada desperate to get it back. They've got it. Williams, he's going on his own, and Morgan Williams scores. Morgan Williams scores his 3rd try of Rugby World Cup '99. He scored 2 against France, and he's opened up his account and Canada's against Namibia.
Wonderful try here. Pagano might have given hands first of all, but look how quick this ball comes back. And with the defence sucked in, the gap opens up and he dives through. Wonderful try, wonderful start for Williams, and he'll be pleased with that one. Here we see from the reverse angle, just a sniff of the gap, and in he goes. Canada have certainly shown their intent right from the start. We've talked about it right from the first whistle. They're moving the ball around. They need to get points on the board.
And it's noticeable as well that the big man here, this is all 100 kilograms of Gareth Rees. He scored 465 points in his 56 test matches, and he's put over the extra 2 points, has he? Yes, he has. And Canada take a 7-3 lead. Some 7 minutes gone.
Williams picks up there. It's a simple try, but all the good work was done by Pagano because he straightened the line. But there again, we're talking about goal kicking. Wonderful goal kick there from Rees. The standard of goal kicking throughout this whole tournament has been superb.
You're right there, Scott. Gareth Rees is a 100% goal kicker. He hasn't missed a kick in Rugby World Cup '99. But Canada are really going to have to change the shape of their game, and it looks as if they have done so from the word go here. Nichols with the chip, and it's going to make good ground. Back goes Glovin van Beek. He's on his own. Now they roll. It's an interception by Kyle Nichols, and the Canadian centre from Ontario scores Canada's 2nd. 2 tries in a minute, and the Canadians are bubbling here in Toulouse.
Well, it's one of these tries you can see from the commentary position, but just the defence wasn't back there in time, and Nichols just steals the ball and has the easiest of run-ins in under the post. As a centre, when you read these plays and you go in under the post and intercept, we saw a few in the earlier game between Western Samoa and Wales, and here's another one this evening.
It was Glovin van Beek who was looking to find Ati Samuelson, and Kyle Nichols read it well. No stopping him from there. He's got a bit of pace, the man who's played for Newport in Wales. He's an Ontario man from Toronto, and he's on the score sheet. It's 14-3, and the restart from Francois van Rensburg wearing 13. Here go the Canadians. They got a stampede on, you know, from the very word go here. The tempo of the game is quicker than anything that Canada have managed in Rugby World Cup '99, and it's there put into the scrum.
It's interesting, this style of play from the kickoff. Actually, we saw it beforehand when they were warming up on the pitch. It was that type of style they were doing. They were practicing these small drills, so they were used to the handling of the ball and under pressure as well.
That's the Canadian 22, and the Canadian scrummage is up. You can see Mark Cardinal having a pretty useful referee's chair view, but the Namibian backs are all offside. Look at the pace at which Canada want to get on with it. They're going to have to change the way they play, and it looks as if they're doing it, Scott. How is it going to affect Gareth Rees and his style of play?
Well, he's suited to it. We've seen him playing for Wasps for many years. Obviously, he's in the unfamiliar position from his Wasps days, but he's in the familiar position of number 10 here. He's a good tactician, actually. You know, there you could see him calling for the ball. He wanted to go for touch. It gets him down into the Namibian ground. And as we see here from the scrum, it's just the front row pops out. Referee adjudged that was illegal, awards the penalty.
Up goes Big John Tate. It's not a knock on, it's gone behind the scrum half. It's a penalty though. You can see the referee signalling to Mark Cardinal, diving in for the ball. You can't dive in for it, you must stay on your feet. It's a penalty to Namibia. It's an interesting character, Francois van Rensburg, whose brother Sarl would have been on the bench, but he's not tonight. This ball went behind Morgan Williams, and there you go. That's the hooker Cardinal diving in for it. He should stay on his feet. It's a fine line. Hugo Horn from the Wanderers club in Windhoek. They won the line-out. Yankees to Zyman. Van der Merwe. Francois van Rensburg went on the decoy run. It's a nice run now by Leander van Dijk. But Canada have stolen it. Gareth Rees. Huge shunt downfield. Back goes Sean Furter, the number 8, helped out by Samuelson. And the number 8 gets his kick into touch. No, he doesn't. He finds Scott Stewart. There are red shirts strewn all across the field if Canada can get quick ball. They go right. Gareth Rees, Al Sharon. That's Rod Snow, a flying winger, 120 kilograms of him. Morgan Williams keeping it on the narrow side. Pagano. This is played at real place by Canada. The long pass out. Stanley. Lougheed. Lougheed is thumped. That's the Namibian 22. It's desperate defence by Namibia, and the referee's allowing it to go on. Now he's saying it's a penalty.
Well, what pace in this game so far, but blatant offside there from Namibia. And Rees points to go for goal. So far we've seen there, you see the statistics already. Canada 78% of possession already, and they've certainly come out firing on all cylinders. Here we see the incident. The ball's still firmly held in the back there. Where they come offside. Zyman in offside, and the referee quite rightly penalises. Here's Snow. Watch this for a sidestep from a big fella like that. Wonderful play. Goes to deck. It ensures, and the great thing about the Canadian play so far is the quality of ball they're getting off the 3rd, the 4th and the 5th phases.
Gareth Rees, 13 minutes gone. It's another successful kick at goal from the Canadian outside half, and Canada lead Namibia by 17 points to 3. Storming start to the match by Canada. Well, they know they need a huge score here tonight to stand any chance of creeping in through that back door. The result in Cardiff has certainly made it a much more difficult task for the Canadians. Here they go again, though. Men pounding in at real pace. Dan Bohr is taking 2, 3, 4 Namibians to stop him. Williams, Gareth Rees. Got a posse of red shirts outside, but he finds a gap behind the fullback Logan van Beek, and that's a good kick by Rees.
Oh, top play by Rees. We're just talking about the style of rugby there. He was absolutely outstanding there. He realised the Namibian defence were right up on his backs. He saw the gap and potted a great one into the 22.
Mark Cardinal, 38 years of age. He's the oldest man on the park. Probably won't thank me for saying that.
Well, he's not quite as old as Ormachia, the Uruguayan captain, who's 40 years of age, so he's got a couple of years to go yet.
Hugo Horn. Ball is loose. It's Canada's ball now. Williams. It's Rod Snow, and he's lost it in the tackle. I thought for a moment he might have got away with it. It's gone forward there. The referee, Andrew Cole from Australia, has said it'll be Namibia's scrummage. And that's Skulk van der Merwe wearing 12. Nothing scares him too much. He has a rehabilitation farm for wild animals. Crocodiles, lions, cheetahs, you name them, he's got them. Picked up now by Furter, the number 8. Namibia too are stepping on the pedal as well, but have they lost it? Crowd is whistling for something they've seen. This is Lougheed, taken by Van der Merwe. Good tackle by the Namibian centre, and they've lost it. Lougheed has lost it in the tackle. Yankees, and the little chip from the scrum half. Tiny man, huge heart.
Well, you said the little chip from the little man. He's actually a fiery little character, isn't he? He's got a wonderful service off both hands, actually, and very, very stockily built. Be interesting to see how he comes through the game.
It'll be Mark Cardinal, the Canadian hooker who comes from the James Bay Club on Vancouver Island, and he plays for British Columbia. 6 at the back is John Hutchinson, plays his rugby in Japan. Up goes John Tate. Rees looks for an option inside Lougheed. It was Sharon in there as well. Dan Bohr, it's on here. The pass was just agonisingly inches in front of Scott Stewart.
Well, if Dan Bohr had got there to Scott Stewart, that was a certain try, but it was just a slight forward pass. Here we see it again. Bohr takes the ball. A difficult one. Sometimes when you're man and tackle like that, he's just put under a little bit of pressure there. The ball's obviously forward.
17 minutes gone. The Canadians leading Namibia 17 points to 3. Yankees, it's too long. Scott Stewart. Leandra van Beek with the tackle, but Stewart has done well. Pagano to Al Sharon. And some heavy trampling by John Teal, the James Bay man. But it's a penalty against Namibia. And that is the result of some of that trampling. And it's Peter Steyn who's injured down there.
Well, if you're on the wrong side of ruck ball like that, you're going to get rucked out, and that's certainly what the Canadians do. Look at this. Al Sharon takes great ball in. The tackler over the ball there, and here comes the boots. The tackle man has got to move away from the ball. There wasn't any incident where he moved away from the ball, and quite rightly penalised.
Cardinal standing on the Namibian 22. Won by Sharon at the back. A little bit untidy though for Morgan Williams. He's decked by Van Rooyen and Furter, but Pagano is in a scrum half position. Gareth Rees, the little chip. It's a shade too long. That was Samuelson with the clearance. But it's a penalty to Canada. The referee had been playing advantage. I think it was perhaps for using the hand on the floor when it obviously you can't. And Gareth Rees is going to look for a position here inside the Namibian 22.
Well, I think Canada wanted that kick a little bit deeper, but we've seen them again in the warm-up. They've got a number of routines and ploys coming off the back of the line-out, so let's see what happens here.
Not sure what's going on with Mark Cardinal. John Tate up high. The ball was not straight. It was a problem that Canada had against Fiji, and Pat Dunkley went off and Mark Cardinal came on. And the Canadian management said that Cardinal should get the vote for the starting lineup as hooker. Yankees waits. Sharon. What a great piece of play by the Canadian number 8. Scott Stewart's in a touch of bother though. And the Namibians have defended this well. John Teal this time is the man the referee has pointed to. That's Mike James, the last man up. Mike James, who plays his rugby in France for Perpignan. He's also played for the French Barbarians. Big kick downfield now by Francois van Rensburg.
Here we see the incident again. Trying to steal the ball there, but referee quite rightly penalised Canada for an offside position.
Zyman now, the outside half. Yankees. It was all a little bit too narrow. Pagano's done well. Lost it though just for a moment. Picked up by Koen Hoog, the Namibian captain. It's loose ball. It's scrappy, but if Namibia can get it from here. Oh, a boot went in there, I'm sure it did. The crowd has seen something. The touch judge is right on the spot and he's having a word. That's Tapper Henning, the South African touch judge. It was just a little bit too vigorous, said the referee, but they didn't get a number of the chap who administered the treatment. It's a penalty, Namibia. So from Rensburg, watch this. "20 minutes gone, 22 minutes gone, and Canada lead Namibia by 17 points to 3. This is Hugo Horn, the Namibian hooker. Namibia are very close. They got a lot of weight, a lot of muscle in that forward surge. Yankees, Zyman, Van der Merwe tries to wriggle his way through. He's collared by Dan Boer, who's on the wrong side of the ball. And some of this rugby is a bit tasty, Scott.
Yeah, well, there's good play there, and if they're not going to roll away from the ball, you know, I see it quite right. You can actually put your feet in the man, as long as you're rocking over the top of the ball. James there, the second row from Canada, he was actually indicating and looking for the touch judge to perhaps cite somebody for a bit of stamping there, but again, I don't see anything wrong with that.
It's been a major achievement for Namibia to come this far. They had to come through 2 qualifying rounds. This is Hugo Horn. And it's not quite his 41st test. He's worn the Namibian jersey 41 times. 2 qualifying rounds. They had to qualify from Casablanca in Morocco. Leandre van Dijk, who's one of their key players. That's why, because he slots goals for them. And it's now 17 points to 6, 23 minutes gone. So in the last 5 or 6 minutes, the Namibians have come back at Canada from that initial onslaught. We saw the red shirts pounding away at the blue ones. Yankees. Ooh, that's a risky pass. Glovin van Beek. Enterprise from the fullback. But that's Dave Lougheed trapped. Hands are working in there, but the referee's allowing it to go on. Continuity is good from the Australian referee. Not now, though. This time, he will penalise.
Well, I think if the referee had looked earlier, there was more than one hand in there, and it certainly wasn't a Namibian, but he penalised Namibia, and Rees will just pop this one down the touchline to hopefully put pressure on Namibia within their own 22.
I think, Scott, that you see that from a number of Southern Hemisphere referees, don't you? You called it correctly. There were 2 or 3 pairs of hands on the ball there, and he said, OK, let's play on.
Well, that's right. It's one of these things which, as long as you're making a determined effort to release the ball up for that second and third phase play, the Southern Hemisphere referees tend to let it go a wee bit, but there was just a little bit too much hands in there from Namibia.
Scott Stewart, the Canadian fullback. Over 50 caps from him, and John Tate, look at that. Huge arms soaring high in the line-out. Williams now to Gareth Rees, and it's going to be a penalty for obstruction. It was crossing. No try for Winston Stanley. The man ran in front of the ball carrier, and you can do that in certain situations on the field, but when you are affecting the defensive line, when it's too near to the defensive line, it's a penalty.
Here we see the incident here, and that's Nichols running in front of the ball. It opens up the gap, fair enough for Stanley, but because of the crossing, quite rightly penalised.
Namibian number 8 is Sean Furter for the United club. Number 7 is Matthijs van Rooyen. Shares a fairly famous birthday. He's 28 on Christmas Day. Yankees, Zyman. Long pass, a little bit laboured though. This is Francois van Rensburg. He's done well. Makes 10 or 12 metres. Yankees again. Furter. collared by Rod Snow. Yankees inside to Van Rooyen. This is quite good continuity from Namibia. Canadians penalised for diving in on the ball. It's probably the most popular penalty, if popular is the right word. Look at the ruck ball that Canada have won.
Well, that's good play from everybody from the Canadian side, taking the ball in, releasing up quick ball. And here we see the incident here, the wide pass. This was actually a good dummy movement, and they should be looking. Van Rensburg with a good dummy, steps in off his right. And that's showing a little bit of a weakness in the Canadian defence while they're drifting across.
Up goes Peter Steyn for Namibia. Yankees inside, but they've lost it in the tackle. A couple of big lads in that Namibian front row. Gerard Opperman, he's round about the 115 kgs mark. I suppose that equates to about 18 stone. Canada's 22, Morgan Williams. Gareth Rees, sounds like a real Welsh Valleys connection, that, but far from it. Samuelson has done well, the Namibian left winger, and Namibia have won it. Zyman, Johan Zyman has punched it downfield, but straight to his opposite number. That's Scott Stewart. And Scott Stewart has found a very good touch.
Very good play from Stewart. He was tight to the tram lines there, went onto his left foot and fired it up to the halfway line. Very good kick, very good full back play there.
"28 minutes gone, Canada leading 17-6. It's a line out. Namibia's throw, and it's bang on the halfway line. Interesting formation with Eben Smith at the back for Namibia. Up goes Peter Steyn. It's not straight. The bands are playing in Toulouse, and they're enjoying this rugby match. It started off enterprisingly. The Canadians have signalled their intentions. On the halfway line, the scrummage is penalised because the referee says that the Namibian loosehead, who's Eben Smith, was punching through, was pushing through, and whatever laws go on in that front row, the referee has just called one.
Well, it's a jungle in that front row, but we're glad to have the referee's mic here, because Eben Smith obviously pushing up high there and popping out the top of the front row there.
Have you ever played rugby out that way, Scott, down Namibia way?
I haven't played out Namibia way. Here we see the replay again. Look at the driving position there, coming out the scrum, trying to put pressure on. That is dangerous play, and quite rightly penalised.
But, you know, props of yesteryear would say, that's a great fillet for me. I've done my job tonight.
Well, not if you've been penalised by the referee.
Game's changed. This is Cardinal. Up goes Al Sharan. That's not straight. Both sides with problems at the line-out. Al Sharan with Bristol, last year's Player of the Year for the West of England club. Brian Yankees with the feed picked out of the back of the scrum too by Sean Furter. Got away with it. It's inside the Namibian 22. Zyman. That's straight down Scott Stewart's throat. This is Stanley. Nicely played. There's a two-man overlap here. Nichols to Lougheed. He'll have to come back inside. It's a good covering tackle by Johan Zyman. Namibia's 22. Rod Snow takes two to stop him. Canada's ball. Williams, Rees looks for half a gap. Pagano, he's there. He's through one tackle. It's good Canadian continuity. Rees, Stanley, Scott Stewart and Al Sharan standing out wide, and Al Sharan is going to score. It's a third try for Canada. What a good try for the Canadian number 8. The Ontario man scores his 7th try in his 54th test for Canada.
Well, again, look at the ball we're getting back here. Williams feeds it to Rees. This is a great pass there. Look at that one from Scott Stewart. That was soft hands and quick hands, and Sharon steps off his right, and he's a wonderful flanker, number 8. He's got good hands. Look at that great pass by Stewart again. Sharon steps off his right and has the power and the pace to dive through for a great Canadian try.
Here's the man who's played in 4 Rugby World Cups. It's quite incredible whether that will ever be achieved again. Gareth Rees for Canada. Hasn't missed a kick at the posts in this World Cup. It's a record that's still intact. 2 more points and the Canadians have stretched their lead. It's 24 points to 6.
Well, there's Sharon stepping off his right. He's a great ball handler, this guy. I played against and with him. Last time was in 1995 against South Africa for the Barbarians, and he had a wonderful game that day as well.
There's a lot of him, Scott, isn't there? He's about 112 kgs, he's about 17 stone, and he's quick.
He's also a very talented footballer. He's got great hands, great tackling ability as well.
From the restart, it's Canada who win it. Rod Snow, you can see how they're using the big front row man. The charging bull he is. That's Cardinal as a scrum half. Probably won't keep the job for too long. Stanley steps inside his man, but the Namibians are offside. This is the real scrum half. Morgan Williams onto Dan Bohr. He's a live wire flanker, he is. Williams again, Rees, Kyle Nichols tries to stand outside the tackle from Van Rensburg. Namibian midfield is holding out from these searing attacks.
Well, good movement again from the Canadians, and the knock-on unfortunately cost them dearly. But this is entertaining stuff. Canada just lost a grip in the game a little bit before coming back there with the Al Sharon try. But we can see the tactics straight from the kick-off again. They move ball, and they're willing to move ball at all opportunities here.
And it's great to watch, Scott, isn't it?
Absolutely, but Namibia are doing equally as well.
Leandra van Dijk, wearing 14, couldn't quite take the pass. Played a bit of rugby in Velkom in South Africa as well. Cardinal finds John Tate, Williams, Rees, Nichols coming in on a straight run. It was a very good tackle by Van Rooyen. And Nichols penalised for not releasing the ball. What a good tackle that was by Matthijs van Rooyen. Plays for the Mariental club in Windhoek. Took Nichols coming in.
Yeah, good player there, because Stanley obviously found the gap. Nichols, sorry, found the gap. But it was a wonderful tackle, and he held it up, and quite rightly penalised for holding on to the ball. Here you see it. Just holding on to the ball. Namibia couldn't get it. Quite rightly, the referee penalises.
Igor Horn. And he finds Heino Senekal. Yankees to Zyman. Some long passes in midfield for Rensburg to his partner Van der Merwe. Just outside the Canadian 22. They've lost it. Now the counter-attack from Canada. The chip upfield by Morgan Williams. This is Carl Nichols. Back goes Van Dijk, and it's Gloven van Veek, the fullback, who retrieves the quick line-out throw by Nichols, but they're called back.
Well, again, great play there from Canada. They ripped the ball over, they got the turnover ball, and they were willing to move it. Morgan then put the deep chip into the Namibian half, and good follow-up there as well from the centre, Nichols.
Rian Yankees. This is Sean Furter. It's an 8-9 move by the Namibians. Interesting what the Canadians are doing as well. Pagano is back on this wing now. He and Stanley seem to be changing at will.
We've also seen off loose play as well, Lockheed, who more and more Leicester supporters know about. He actually plays in the wing for Leicester. So they're obviously looking to change positions, to actually ask questions of this Namibian defence.
Horn throws. It was Teal who fed Morgan Williams. They're getting a bit bunched up now, Canada. Gareth Rees goes to ground, lays it back. Hutchinson it was to Cardinal. Some big hits going in by the Namibians. Pagano, Nichols, Lougheed, this is Stanley. Stanley looks to chip, he checks inside. Picked up now by Scott Stewart. Nichols again with the support. Williams taken down by the big man, Peter Steyn. Good attack from Canada, all at pace.
A good applause there from this crowd at the Stade Toulouse. But great offloading by all the Canadians there. They're standing big in the tackle, they're offloading, they're supporting each other, and it's making a wonderful game.
And there's a Namibian who is absolutely flat out, some 40-50 yards away. And Dave Lougheed has gone on to have a look what's happened. I can't quite see who it is. I think it's Leander van Dijk. No, it's not. It's the Attie Samuelson, I think, the left winger. Have a look here what happens. Samuelson took a head bump.
Good support there from Scott Stewart there. Lougheed again. And just bundled out of touch here. Good defence though by Namibia. Steyn across there, the big second row of the tackle.
Actually, that was a very nice piece of sportsmanship by Dave Lougheed, who's picked up a championship medal with the Leicester club last season. It was he who clashed heads with the unfortunate tackler Attie Samuelson. And Lougheed went up to see if he was okay, gave him a tap. And apart from having a shampoo, I think he's okay. Attie Samuelson, actually he may be going off. He looks a little bit groggy. He's going off with the trainer, with the medical man, so he's off the field. And there's a replacement looking to come on. That's Dirk Farmer as Sean Herter picks up. Yankees. Stanley's underneath it, made a very good catch. He's held by Glovin van Veek. Big rush by the blue shirts, but they've lost it. Or rather, Canada retained it. Oh, what a pass inside by Gareth Rees to Pagano. It was cheeky. We'll see a little bit more of this. Watch this. Look at that.
Well, you can see Pagano there. He didn't have his eyes on the ball at all, but in actual fact, if Rees had gone open there, there was numbers up there for Canada on the open side. Interestingly enough, off this scrum ball, we've had Furter take the ball on an awful lot of times in the 22. This time I think it'll go back to the backs. Here's the open ball one in open play. Canada winning lots of open ball. We've talked about that in terms of the number of phases of possession.
Simon has done a Houdini. Dropped it first of all and he got out of jail. This is Furter. Yankees taken by Hutchinson. Big tackle by the Canadian blindside flanker. 2 minutes of injury time at the end of this first half. It's just gone up on the electronic scoreboard. Back goes Scott Stewart, just outside his 22. He wants Stanley to run with him as well. That's good play by Winston Stanley. He's got a turn of pace, he's done well. Looks inside, he finds Morgan Williams. Williams, can he get the pass to Sharon? He couldn't quite. Terrific play by Winston Stanley on that far side.
Oh, it's great to see a winger in full flight, and Stanley's got a sea of gas, hasn't he? Look at this. Scott Stewart, first of all, he's the one who makes the first intrusion. And look at that great step off the left foot, down the touchline, looks for the pass inside. Wonderful take again by Williams. Sharon just there as well, and a hint of a knock-on gives Namibia the scrum in the 22.
Oh, good push by the red pack, the Canadians. Zyman now, Johan Zyman. He hasn't found touch. He's found Stanley, I presume. This is Scott Seward. Williams, little flick to Hutchinson. John Teal. All the Canadians want to get their hands on the ball. It's with John Tate. He's run into a pack of blue shirts and it's been stolen by Peter Steyn. Penalty though to Canada. Morgan Williams, he did this against France and scored. Not this time against Namibia. They need quick ball. Gareth Rees is a scrum half. Kyle Nichols steps inside. Pagano, what a good pass. It's Rod Snow. Snow with the dummy in the sidestep. And Rod Snow has scored for Canada. It's the Canadians' 4th try. And the prop has been everywhere in this first half. Scores his 6th try for his country.
Well, who says that props can run? This is a wonderful try again. Quick thinking by Williams, who took the quick tap. Rees passed out. Pagano, great hands. That's a wonderful pass. And here's Snow. Well, no way was he going to pass that. Bundles over the line. Good try by Canada. But again, wonderful, wonderful hands from Pagano there from the wing. He was under pressure. He took 2 men out and popped the pass over to Rod Snow, who trundled into the line and scored a great try for Canada.
Gareth Rees steps up with the conversion attempt. And the scoreboard will tell you, with that conversion from Gareth Rees, that the Canadians are well in front here in Toulouse. They're leading Namibia by 31 points to 6 at half-time.
And now to the highlights. This is Max Bretos at our Fox Sports World studio. What a first half this man had. Rod Snow, the touchdown there, and Canada gets off to the ideal beginning. Then Morgan Williams, what a find he has been for Canada. Rees, it opens up to Stanley, even further along to Scott Stewart, and Al Sharon, what a performer. Plays, one of the few professional players for Canada, gets the touchdown there. This is the kid I was talking to you about, Morgan Williams. He's already got a couple tries in this World Cup, and now just setting it loose. All the backs getting a touch, and it ends up in the hands of Al Sharon, one of the best workers on this Canadian team. They know they need to score points here in Pool C. Toulouse knows they're probably in for a Canadian ramp. And there you see Toulouse, Canada leading at 31-6. We will see what the future holds for these two teams. As you can see, Canada needs a big win and hope for some help elsewhere to advance. Well, as you know, Canada made the quarterfinals of the World Cup in '91. As we said, they'll need some help to advance out of it here in '99. They have the Namibians in their premier or first ever chance here in the World Cup standing in front of them. We'll see how many points Canada can score. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
This is Gareth Rees. He's played for the London Wasps Club, Newport. Bedford is now the Castaway Wanderers, British Columbia. More clubs than Jack Nicklaus, somebody else has said. Gareth Rees gets the second half underway. Canada leading 31 points to 6 at the break with 4 tries. And here, straight away, is Leandre van Dijk for Namibia, taken nicely by Scott Stewart. Williams finds his halfback partner Rees. This is Kyle Nichols. Oh, what a good tackle by Skalk van der Merwe in midfield on his opposite number. Rees spots a gap. Acres of open space behind that right winger, Leandre van Dijk. This is Glovin van Veek. Williams underneath it. The scrum half has done well. Tackled by van Dijk. It's gone into touch. It'll be a line-out.
Well, here we see this great thundering tackle. Wonderful play there by Van der Merwe. Great tackle, but it's great that the Namibians have started well. They've determined to keep the ball in play. They kicked down the touch. From the kick-off, they ran the first ball, and they've contributed as much to this game as the Canadians.
Hugo Horn, the Namibian hooker. Namibia have it. Zyman looking for runners off his hip. The Canadian defence is pretty solid in midfield. through Nichols and through Dave Lougheed. So too is the Namibians. We saw that tackle just then by Skalk van der Merwe. Picked up by Furter. Furter to the scrum half. And Leandro van Dijk, the right winger, he's quite a busy man. But after the tackle, once you're tackled, you must release the ball. That is the signal from the referee. It's something you'll see the All Blacks practicing pretty well. When they get tackled, they release, and a posse of black shirts go off.
Oh, I don't think so. The All Blacks are past masters of just holding on for that extra second. They're born on that line, but here we see the incident again. Good running here from Van Dijk, but you can see him. Look at the hands, he's just holding on to it. And in actual fact, half the problem is that the Namibians were closing all over him, and no way Canada could get the ball there.
You're saying the All Black approach is professional?
No. I said 2 or 3 seconds. They hold the ball on for that extra little bit of space.
Up goes Mike James for Canada. Cardinal's got the ball at the back of this maul, and they're walking it forward towards the Namibian goal line, and Cardinal, no, not quite. Thought they'd lost it in the tackle there. They're over the line. It's a penalty for using the hands. The ball had gone to ground. Chance gone for Canada. Chance for Namibia to clear their defences through Francois van Rensburg.
Well, interesting, if Canada had actually held on to that ball, Mark Cardinal thought he was actually going to go over the line. He actually almost anticipated the try before he was over the line. He was held up short, and as a result, Canada started fumbling the ball on the deck. No handling allowed on the deck. Referee penalising Canada for handling on the deck.
That's Heino Senekal, the tall second row forward, scored a try against Fiji in Namibia's opening game of the tournament. Yankees now. Zyman. Van der Merwe. That's a nice break by Tiron. This is good play by Namibia. Yankees to Senekal. Yankees again. This is very good continuity from the Namibians. They've made some 40 meters. And they're strewn out over the park. There was a pretty good lineup from blue shirts.
Well, good continuity there from the Namibian team. And the replacement, Tiron, thundering run from himself. Goes to deck there, good tackle there from Lougheed. But it's Yankees who's setting them all off. He's a good scrum half, he's a good distributor of the ball, he's getting the lines running.
Won by Canada. Williams, Gareth Rees, Pagano now steps inside. He had no option. He's done well. You see how he stayed on his feet, and ripped by Dan Bohr. The wild ball, they call him in Cardiff. Couldn't quite make something of that.
Well, it was a bit wild there. He went down the wrong touchline. He should have stayed in field to let his that second and third phase possession get back to Canada.
John Tate, a former teammate of Dan Bohr's at Cardiff. This is Cardinal. Finds Tate. Great big reach by the big man. Rees, this is Pagano. Throws out a pass to Scott Stewart. He's collared by Ati Samuelson. It's just inside Namibia's half. Nothing coming from that. Canada taking it in. The ball did not go to ground. And so, if you don't use it, you lose it. And it becomes Namibia's put into the scrum.
Well, it was all a bit lateral there from Canada. They were running across the pitch, and actually Pagano gave the bad pass. It took all the momentum off the movement, and they couldn't breach the Namibian defence.
It's the little fella, Yankees, to Zyman. Van Rensburg to Van der Merwe. And a good tackle going in on Leandro van Dijk. Kyle Nichols is the tackler. Something was going on off the ball. This is John Tate now with men outside. Stanley, Cardinal, can he get the pass? It's a 1-2 front row move. That's Rod Snow in the right winger's position. Cardinal has been flattened off the ball, but meanwhile play goes on. Gareth Rees Lougheed, he's taken down by Theron. It's a penalty against Canada. Mark Cardinal it was who gave the pass to Rod Snow. A hooker to the front row, a hooker to the prop.
Here we see the takeout here. Oh, it was a slightly late one, and there's Snow drifting out there on the wing again. But Cardinal copped a high one there around the neck. And I know the Rugby World Cup authorities, they've been actually very, very good on citing players. But here's another incident on the other side of the pitch.
Couldn't quite see from that, but it's Francois van Rensburg. And I think that it is Danny Baugh, the open side flanker for Canada, has been sent off. Dan Baugh of Canada is off, and that is extraordinary. Mark Cardinal is also leaving the proceedings. He has an injury. And this is Pat Dunkley, who comes from James Bay, plays for British Columbia. He's the substitute hooker. That's Paddy O'Brien, the fourth official from New Zealand, making sure that the referee knows what's going on. Dan Baugh has not left the field yet. Let's have a look what happened to. You can see Dan Baugh, he's collared his man. He stamped on Francois van Rensburg. The touch judge saw it, and he came in and told the referee.
It was nasty play actually, because his foot was well away from the actual ball, which is at least a metre in front of him, and to stamp above the shoulder to the head, that's dangerous play.
Canada are a man short. They're playing with 14 men. They are 31 points to 6 up, and we've had 9 minutes of the second half. Big chance now for Namibia to fight back, perhaps. This is Glovin van Wyk. He's on his own, chased by Winston Stanley. Terrific run by Theron. Namibia putting passes together. Samuelson. Now they're stepping on the accelerator up to the halfway line. Yankees, Zyman. And that's a very neat chip back into the box by the outside half.
Well, with Canada down to 14 men, it's going to be interesting how Namibia play this next 30-35 minutes. And Zyman spotted good space there in the Canadian 22 and potted a good one into the 22 for good pressure on Canada.
So Dunkley, wearing 22, plays for the same club as Mark Cardinal, James Bay. It's inside Canada's 22. Dunkley throws. Mike James takes it. Williams to Rees. And that's a big hoof downfield. Hasn't gone into touch, and it hasn't gone forward. It's not a knock-on. Samuelson recovers. He finds Glovin van Wyk, who runs all across field, some 50 metres. Leandre van Dijk wouldn't have thanked him too much for that. He's been taken down by Hutchinson. Teal, Dunkley, Rees. That's a useful chip. The big chase by John Tate, the long striding second row. Back goes Theron, wearing 20 for Namibia. Presented to Williams. Rees, Lougheed, taken by van Rensburg. Williams again, Gareth Rees stands up on his man. Williams with the linking support. The tackle by Herman Lindveld on him. Canada are keeping the ball, but they're going backwards. Cole, Sharon, Williams through, no. Taken by Horn. Williams again, Rees standing still, goes over his head. Lougheed. This is frenetic stuff by Canada, and tremendous defence by Namibia. but they are penalised for creeping up too far in defence, and they're offside. What a concerted period of pressure that was for Namibia to soak up.
Good continuity there by Canada. There must have been 8 or 9 phases of possession, but on every single play the referee was shouting to Namibia, roll away Namibia, don't handle the ball. And latterly the Namibians gave away the penalty there, and Rees will just step up to knock over the simplest of penalties. Just in the lead up to the first lot of phases of possession there, Gareth Rees there, he actually is showing good awareness, his kicking game coming into good effect, but he's varying the game from opening out to the wider backs to rolling inside his forwards.
Crowd doesn't like this, but Gareth Rees does. His penalty puts Canada into a 34-6 lead, and some 12-13 minutes have gone in the second half. Canada, though, are a man down with Dan Bohr sent off. Francois van Rensburg from the Harlequin club in Windhoek. Restarts, Sharon takes, but only he finds Quinn Hoek, the Namibian captain. Yankees held back by Sharon, a little bit going in off the ball. Plenty going on now that's just below the surface. The referee's going to have to keep a control. Well, this game started off at a rate of knots, and Canada set their store out. They scored 4 tries in the first half, and they haven't had it their own way in the second. Namibia's defence has been good, and they've stepped it up offensively as well.
Namibia here on the 5-yard line. Here we just see the Canadians just fringing offside there. Number 8 Sharon just coming in offside there, gives away the penalty. And obviously with Canada down numbers in the line out, Namibia will want to take advantage.
Namibia lose their way at the line out, and Canada steal it on their own goal line. Rees, left-footed and not quite into touch. This is Ati Samuelson. He's broken through 2 tackles, but it's good gathering by the Namibian forwards. There's a few heavy feet going in there. This is Quinn Hoek. Quinn Hoek, the Namibian captain, has scored. The captain leads the way, has a few words to say to Carl Nichols. Quinn Hoek, known as Beers the Beast, scores his 10th try for his country. They're on the try sheet.
Well, scrappy play there. It came from a mistake from Canada. Sharon seemed to pinch the ball. The good fortitude there by the captain of Namibia. Dots the ball down over the line. Excellent try. Here we see again, just bursting off the side of the maul there and showing good awareness to power himself over and in under the, or near to the post.
Van Beek misses the conversion, and the score stays Canada 34, Namibia 11, and I'm sure that's Carl Nichols saying, well scored, skipper. Not. 34-11. Game on. Canada down to 14. Gareth Rees restarts. Oh, this is cynical. The big second row. Look at the pace of the man. He's on his own. What a tremendous chip of the attempt was, and the stop by Scott Stewart. This game's got everything. Samuelson was there. There's Lochie. He's dumped by Van der Merwe. Tempers are fraying just as fraction. They're just below the surface.
Well, you can feel a bit of niggle just coming into the game there in the last replay and the try. It was Nichols who came across to have a word, but the referee really just has to take a little bit of a grip, maybe call his captains in, settle down these teams, because we don't want to see this spill out into sort of more violence, because it's been a great game of rugby, apart from that one incident when ball went in with the feet. But here's the incident again. Lougheed dumped unceremoniously by Van der Merwe.
Van der Merwe, as I said earlier, grapples with lions, cheetahs, leopards, baboons, crocodiles.
And Canadian centaurs.
Made a monkey of him. This is Horn. They're doing well at the line-out. That's Seneca. Horn again, the hooker. It's a mess, but Canada have stolen it. The referee said you can't do that. He thought it was a ruck. Mike James doesn't think so.
Well, Mike James pleading innocence. Of course, he lives and plays his trade and plies his trade for Perpignan in France. Obviously not understanding the lingo there, but there's the penalties conceded. Canada now conceding 12 penalties to Namibia's 10. And again, we've got a line out here on Canada's 5-yard line. And Namibian, of course, with the extra man in the line out, will they make it tell again for the second time?
Echo Horn with the throw. It's taken by Lindfeldt, and Namibia are close. They're very close. Yankees waits. Simon has dropped it. He probably sensed his moment of glory, and it's come to nothing. Bit of an injury break to one of the Namibians. Herman Lindfeldt, the man injured. Free kick to Canada. Williams takes it quickly. Lougheed throws out a pass to Pagano. He's been a busy man in this match. Pagano sensing his chance. It's his first World Cup match. Rees, he did have men over. Glovin van Beek outside his 22. Williams, the scrum half, finds Dunkley. He's dumped by Tiron. The match has not lost any of its pace. This is Joe Pagano, plays for the York Yeoman Club in Ontario. In Toronto, look at him go, looking for work. Gareth Rees is standing on his own 10-metre line. And Namibia have lost the scrummage. Morgan Williams chips. Back goes Van der Merwe. Oh, nice pass. Was it? No, it's a mistake. Rees picks up. He feeds Kyle Nichols. And Kyle Nichols scores his second try of the match. A little bit of loose play by Namibia. And the chance is seized upon firstly by Rees, then by Nichols, the scorer.
Well, a mistake here, but Williams put in a good kick. He actually saw there was a bit of space behind, and the Namibian defence here was actually very, very lax. Miscommunication there with Van Dijk. And the simplest of tries there for Nichols, who goes over for his second try. It's one of the simplest tries. It's the easiest try in the book when you get one against a mistake from your opposite numbers.
probably the toughest conversion that Gareth Rees has had in the match. He has a 100% record, not only in this match, but in the Rugby World Cup '99, and he's maintained it. 2 more points, the conversion to try number 5. And the mistake by Van der Merwe, trying to find Leandre van Dijk, picked up by Gareth Rees, and all Nichols had to do was pick it up and score. There's a new man on for Canada. Wearing 21 is Dwayne Major. Man born in Christchurch, New Zealand. He plays for the Burnside Club in Canterbury down there. He's on the park. So too is Al Sharon, wearing 8. Williams. Rees. Put a lot of weight behind that kick, Gareth Rees. John Teal is the man who's gone off, and Dwayne Major, who we were reliably informed before the match. There he is. Dwayne Major has a mother who hails from Saskatchewan. Dwayne Major wearing 21. On for John Teal. This is Icho Horn. Canada leading 41 points to 11. That was Lindfeldt up high in the line-out. Picked up now by Rod Snow. Snow will have a go from here. Zyman wouldn't fancy that. 120 kilograms at full pelt. Not one to get in the way of. Hands used, though, after the tackle was made. It's a penalty to Canada. And Gareth Rees has opted for a kick at goal. Have a listen to the crowd. Monsieur Rees. Most unpopular in Toulouse.
He would see some good play from Linfield off the line out here. But Gareth Rees has obviously got a bet on with the bookies, I reckon, if he's popping the ball here from 35 metres. But wonderful display of goal kicking. Gareth Rees has been actually playing magnificently this evening here at the stadium, thumping the ball down the touchlines.
And banging them between the posts as well. Gareth Rees, 100% record intact. And Canada lead by 44 points to 11. Number 17 for Canada is Bobby Ross from James Bay and British Columbia. Winning his 38th cap tonight. He is on for Joe Pagano, who's done very well. Joe Pagano is off. This is Bobby Rees, who had a spell with Cardiff. Quite a strong connection with the Welsh club. A quarter of an hour of the match to go. It's 44-11 to Canada. And something happened in there that the referee thinks is merits a penalty, and it's a penalty Canada.
Interesting work there from the referee, Andrew Call. Colin Hawke down here on the near side touchline. He was the one who signalled that foul play from Namibia. And the referee and linesman obviously working in good concert together. And it's Canada who'll take play down just over the Namibian half. Here we see the play here. Just no attempt to actually go for the ball. Went for the barge, and Al Sharon, well, he copped a bit of a shoe in the back as well.
Pat Dunkley throws. John Tate, who's up there for an age. Williams, long pass to Gareth Rees. Runs through his man, that's Turan. Hands on to Dave Lougheed. Picked up now by Eben Smith. And now Yankees. Zyman. Can't get past Pat Dunkley. Some big hits going in here. That's Gareth Rees bursting through.
Good support here from Lougheed, who loses the ball in the next tackle. Look at the tackle come in here from his opposite number, Van der Merwe. And here we see, I think it's Smith, the prop here from Namibia, Eben Smith. He actually got injured in a tackle there. Al Sharon took the ball on from Lochhead, who lost the ball in the tackle situation. And it just looks as though he might have a wee hematoma there and a bang on the side of the hamstring.
That looks like a haggis he's applying to his leg there. But you don't have haggis cold, do you?
No, you don't. But we'll certainly might get some haggis, neeps and tatties after tonight's game. Here we see the incident here. Look at Sharon going there. And you can see the clash of knees there right on the side of the leg. And there'll be a bit of swelling there this evening. He'll do well to come through from that one.
That's one of the worst you can get when you get a bone or the knee that goes into the soft part of the thigh. Dead leg for Eben Smith.
And obviously for a prop, he's not going to be able to scrummage, and there you see him limping off, and that's the end of his World Cup.
Eben Smith leaves, and in a certain amount of discomfort. Now Gerard Opperman, who went off, is coming back on. So
well, I wonder if he'll get 2 caps for this one. Opperman coming off the bench here.
It looks as if he's wearing 2 caps. That's the Namibian 22, picked up by Sean Furter. He's had a good game for Namibia tonight. Sharon for Canada, Furter for Namibia. Now with Senekal. He's a hard-working lock. Yankees to Simon. Yankees again, such a busy man at scrum half. This is Bobby Ross. And back goes the Namibian number 8. It's Sean Furter. Well, he kicked it a long way, but didn't quite get the angle. He's had a good game.
Yeah, he's picked well off the back of the scrum this evening. And look at this, good driving play there. Equally marked though by Al Sharon as he comes in with a high tackle.
That's the signal. You may as well say my ball, because John Tate has taken so much ball in the middle of the line-out for Canada. That's good work. There it is now with Morgan Cole. Now Gareth Rees, and Lougheed was coming in at base. The referee was playing advantage. He said that too many Namibians were coming in from the wrong side to try and get under the ball.
Well, it was Opperman who came in to try and stop the attack there, but here's Gareth Rees just taking a quick tap.
Rod Snow, first man to take it. The ball is out. Tate, John Tate. Sharon. Canada so close to scoring. Snow. Nichols, Lougheed, Stanley and Bobby Ross. Bobby Ross will score. He's only been on the park a couple of minutes. But the man from James Bay in British Columbia is another try scorer for Canada. It's try number 6, and it's Bobby Ross's 6th for his country.
Well, wonderful hands here, but this is the man Snow. He's been everywhere. He's been drifting all over the place. But it's all good hands along. Stewart providing the final pass to Ross, who scampers in on the wing, and a good try. That was excellent hands. Hopefully we'll see that one again from behind, because it's good hands out of pressure. They stayed well on the ball, moved it through the hands, and Ross dives over the line.
Gareth Rees, 8 from 8. You can make that 9 from 9. The man is in quite amazing form. What a World Cup. This is his 4th World Cup, and this is the 6th try for Canada.
Well, that was a super replay there. We saw Nichols, Lochhead and Stewart, the way they just finger touched that try, that ball along the line there for that try to Ross. Wonderful play.
And the Canadians are making substitutions as number 20 Ryan Banks makes his way onto the park. So too does Scott Bryan, wearing 16. Canada, let me remind you, are still playing with 14 men. Dan Bohr sent off. Rees with a bomb of a kick downfield finds Glovin van Beek. Likes running across the park, does the Namibian fullback. Oh, taken nicely by Scott Stewart. He's held by Leandro van Dijk. Canada win the ball. Rees, John Tate, prominent in the loose now, the tall second row. Dwayne Major couldn't take it. Namibia have stolen it. They've got men over. Yankees. Samuelson through. He's wriggled out of it somehow. Good tackle from Morgan Williams. Up to the Canadian 22. Yankees. He didn't have a fly half to pass to. Taken on by Horn, the hooker. Van der Merwe straight into John Tate. Holding on to the ball after the tackle. Really has stepped up another gear this match. Ryan Banks is on for John Hutchinson. Ryan Banks wearing 20. And Scott Bryan, the centre, is on for Dave Lochhead. Scott Bryan earning his 19th cap. That's Scott Stewart, the fullback.
Here we see the play there. Yankees makes the break. He should have maybe given it first time. Pops the ball over the top. But this was a superb pick up here by Samuelson. He took the ball on there. But full credit to Namibia. They haven't sat back and just wanted this game to drift out the way. They've actually entertained. They're prepared to play rugby. And full credit to them for keeping the ball alive.
It's Tate again at the line out. Rees. Gareth Rees is through a big gap. Oh, it's a lovely pass. Cole. Bobby Ross. The referee just allowing it to go on for a fraction, and Yankees will thank him for that. Some tired men out there. Yankees has worked hard all through the match. This is Stanley. Winston Stanley is going to steal away and score. He is Canada's leading try scorer, and he's just added to his tally. And he won't get them much easier than that. His 15th try for his country. Winston Stanley makes it try number 7.
Good acceleration there, but it was the mistake from Namibia here. Throwing the ball back. Van der Merwe putting the ball back, and Twinkle toes himself, dives for the corner. Dots it down well. Here again in the reverse angle. Stanley, good acceleration there. Quick feet. Down the tram lines he goes. Dives for the corner. And the touch judge was right there. He's awarded the try before he actually went touch and goal. Well, I think from that replay, Namibia were perhaps hard done by.
Smack on the touchline for Gareth Rees. Will it be 10 out of 10? Why did I ask the question? The flags go up. The man is in irrepressible kicking form. It's 10 out of 10 for Rees, and so far it's 10 out of 10 for Canada.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure watching Gareth Rees kick for goal tonight. 10 out of 10. That's absolutely wonderful and outstanding kicking tonight.
58 points to 11. 7 tries for Canada. They're playing with a man short, with Dan Bohr off the field. And there's still some 5, 6, possibly 7 or 8 minutes to go. Stanley in there as a scrum half. Rees, they'll run it from here. Bobby Ross can't pick it up. Referee playing advantage, picked up by Haino Sinakal, the second row for Namibia. Bodies all over the ball.
Well, Gareth Rees being a bit lackadaisical there, throwing loose ball out there in his own 22. Namibia just didn't quite get on that ball quick enough, but here we have an attacking platform. It'd be great if they could just wrap up the game by scoring a try themselves.
The scrimmage has disintegrated, and Andrew Cole, the referee, has penalised Namibia for standing up in the scrimmage. Well, I'm not so sure. Well, I don't know all about the laws, or the unwritten laws of that front row. Scott, you can enlighten us.
Well, I'm not one of these guys who plays there with the cauliflower ears and the bash noses. It's a jungle in that particular department.
Samuelson now, the receiver. Bang! That was a tackle by Dwayne Major. Canada leading 58 points to 11. One try the Namibians have scored. Their captain Quinn Hoke in the second half. And 2 penalties from Leandra van Dijk. Canada with 66% of the possession in this second half. And they are a man down. Canada wanted to put on a show tonight. They have quite a number of supporters who've travelled the vast distance from Canada to watch this side. Morgan Williams tells Yankees to stay where he is. Oh, nice play. Stanley in the line, taken by Simon. Good tackle by the Namibian outside half. Namibia have won it. And the little chip downfield by the ever-present number 8, Sean Furter. He's had a great game for Namibia. He really has been everywhere for them. Mike Schmidt, wearing 19, is ready to come on, and it's John Tate who looks as if he's going off. John Tate is off, and Mike Schmidt, who plays for Rotherham in Yorkshire in England, he's also a representative from British Columbia. He's on the field for the last couple of minutes of the match. Scrum is wheeling through the 90 degrees, so it'll have to reset. Rod Snow. Not a customer you'd like to meet around about 11 o'clock at night, and it's 10:05 here local time in Toulouse. Canada will be celebrating tonight in the city of Toulouse, the 4th largest in France, as Canada want to make it a big performance for them. That was Bobby Ross chipping upfield. He's picked up a bump. Morgan Williams now. Was he taken off the ball? Back goes Van Beek, the fullback. The 80 minutes are up on the electronic scoreboard. But don't rule out another try from the Canadians. Francois van Rensburg with a restart. Lindveld went for it. Yankees to his halfback partner Simon, but he ran into Ryan Banks. Namibia, well, they thought about running it out through Van Rensburg. Back goes Bobby Ross. He's got Stanley alongside him. Stanley's got pace, but he's taken down by Van Rensburg. Morgan Williams is through. Williams wants support now. He's got it from Gareth Rees. Try to find Stewart. Mike Schmidt was the man who took the pass. Canada eager for one more score here in Toulouse. Stanley half through. If he could just have offloaded, couldn't get the pass out. Now a chance for Namibia maybe. But hands used again in the ruck. Cynical is the man who has been penalised. Scott Stewart. Oh, that's a good touch. And this could well be the last throw of the dice by the Canadians. It'll be a line out. It'll be their throw in, and it could be another score. It's been a tremendous match.
Been a wonderful game. Actually, Canada are looking to make a sub. I think they put all their subs on.
Well, there's one more left. John Graf wearing 18. 53 caps the man has won. Sure, he'd love to get on now, just for the last couple of seconds. It's won by Mike James. Now they'll drive. They're over the Namibian goal line, and a try has been awarded. It's Rod Snow gets the pat on the head. Rod Snow, if he has scored his second of the night in Toulouse. And it's try number 8 for Canada. It worked like clockwork.
Well, the move was straight off the training paddock. There's Mike James. Up he goes, takes the ball. The man from Perpignan. And here's the cavalry. In they come. And Snow has had a ball of a game. He'll be delighted with that. That's his second try for the season.
Gareth Rees to provide the icing on the cake. 10 out of 10. And it's kick number 11. Gareth Rees leaves his calling card in Toulouse. So too to the supporters of the Maple Leafs. It's 65 points to 11. The calculators may be out after this match. Will Canada sneak through the back door? Maybe it's beyond their task. Maybe events in Cardiff signal the end of Canada's World Cup, with Samoa beating Wales. But everything that has been asked of the Canadians, they have provided tonight. They've scored 8 tries. They are leading Namibia by 65 points to 11, and it really has been a grand show by both sides.
Absolutely. Namibia have contributed handsomely to this game, and to the death. Look at them, they're still moving the ball.
Here goes Furter, the number 8. Terrific game he's had for Namibia. Canada are going to run it from here. Nichols. Maybe he thought that 85 meters was just too much. Van Beek. He does love running across the park. He hasn't got away with it. The tackle by John Graf. He's on the field, the veteran campaigner for Canada. What a big night it'll be for him. He's only had 2 minutes of action. Van Rensburg steps inside, or tries to. Cynical. Dying moments of the game now, and it's Namibia finishing with a flourish, or is it Canada as they steal it? Morgan Williams, Rees, Stanley. He's got Nichols. Now Nichols has got half the length of the field to go. He's got Rod Snow inside. He finds him. Snow stands his ground. Held by Andries Blow. It's still Canada's ball if they can win it. It's a penalty to Canada. We've played some 3 or 4 minutes of injury time. What a moment that could have been for Rod Snow. We've seen Keith Wood. Here goes Snow again. Keith Wood, the Irishman, with 4 tries. It could have been Snow with 3. Williams, Rees, Stanley. Stanley has carved his way through. Winston Stanley with his second try. And this has been a grandstand finish for Canada. Stanley scores his 16th for Canada in the red shirts. Perhaps it's the final act, and it'll be the conversion to come. Rees The little pass inside, and Stanley wriggles his way through.
Well, Stanley with a great pirouette there, showing the skills almost of a ballet dancer. Here we are. Look at that, stepping out the tackle. Twinkle toes touched down the ball.
Gareth Rees finishes with the conversion. 9 tries for Canada. Gareth Rees finishing his 4th Rugby World Cup. What a tremendous performance from him. And the final score here in Toulouse, Canada finishing with a flourish. 72 points to 11. Canada defeating Namibia. This is really what Rugby World Cup 99 is all about. It's what the world of rugby is all about. The Namibians have come here, never mind these statistics, but we'll go through them for you.
Here we go. We see the one glaring statistic actually is the amount of turnovers that Canada managed to win, because they capitalised on that. They won a lot of ball in the opponent's 22. And look at the number of times they've actually passed the wings. 27 occasions to Namibia's 10. Well, that's where the balance has been. They've decided to play down the flanks, and great play. But the Canadian team taking the applause here in the Stade Toulouse.
Fabulous scenes here. Scott, I guess in a way it reminds you of a day some 4 years ago back at Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria, when you said goodbye to hordes of Scottish supporters in what was your last game with brother Gavin in the Scottish jersey.
That's right. Rugby World Cup is a very, very special tournament, and these Canadians they've been on the world stage today, and when you're in front of such a big crowd in such a wonderful stadium, you want to show off your talent, you want to be the best. I was fortunate enough to get a score for Scotland against the All Blacks, and although you're out of the competition, I felt the Scots did well there, and certainly the Canadians have contributed handsomely to tonight's performance.
That was Joe Pagano sporting the ice packs on his calves. It's his first World Cup match. It's one he'll remember.